Iran. Senator Casey, you just say you believe diplomacy should stay an option. I want to show this flow chart just so the American people understand. President Ahmadinejad is down here in the structure, and President Obama has said he would like high-level diplomacy, even leaving the door open to a meeting with President Ahmadinejad early on in the administration. It is the supreme leader, of course, who calls the shots. The armed forces report to him. The state media reports to him. Senator Lugar, I want to come back to you on Senator Casey's point. The president said diplomacy should be on the table. He's been waiting for the Iranians to come back to him. If President Ahmadinejad or the supreme leader, Mr. Khamenei, came back now and said, we want to sit down with the United States at a high level, Secretary Clinton perhaps to the foreign minister, or president to president, should the United States say yes, or would you be rewarding the unjust, to use the president's word, behavior he sees on the streets of Iran right now?
We would sit down because our objective is to eliminate the nuclear program that is in Iran. This is
even though they are shooting people in the streets and beating people in the streets and arresting political opponents, if they called tomorrow, you would sit down with them?
Yes, it's totally improbable, and the reason is that this regime now is under fire. This is not a stable regime in which two people suddenly sit down with the United States. They may not be able to impose their will. This is what this is all about in the streets. But in direct answer to your question, of course, we really have to get into the nuclear weapons. We have to get into terrorism of Iran in other areas in the Middle East. Now, we have a new opportunity in which we might very well say, we want communication with Iran. We want openness of the press. We don't want to have to use Twitter. We want the press on the ground. In order to have any kind of a relationship, we need to be able to talk to people, hear from people, argue with people. This is not imposing our will, but it's fundamental to our democracy and to the development of democracy and or better governments in Iran at this point.
Much more to talk about with our four senators. We'll come back to you in just a moment. As you look on the screen there, you're watching pictures from the streets in Iran. We'll talk more Iran. We'll talk North